The freezing mid-morning air of Lincoln Park, Chicago, 1929, held a familiar soundtrack. Smith's Landon. Then an unnerving silence descended, heavy and suffocating. It was shattered by a new sound, the desolate howling of a dog trapped inside. Moments later, 2 men in police uniforms emerged, marching out 2 others, feigning an arrest. Mrs. Landisman felt a wave of relief, believing the authorities had intervened. But real officers soon arrived, drawn by the neighbours' growing unease. As they pushed open the heavy garage doors, the true, sickening reality was revealed. The air inside was thick with the acrid smell of cordite, a slaughterhouse concealed. To understand that day, one must grasp Chicago's war for its very soul. In the heart of the city, a corporate leader managed his operations with precision. His rival, George Bugs Moran, an old-school gangster, despised Capone as an interloper. Their rivalry was a blood feud, marked by bombings and constant attrition. The SMC Cartage Garage was Moran's unofficial headquarters, a hub for his North Side gang. On February 14th, Moran's crew, including Frank Gusenberg, trickled into the garage. They awaited a delivery, a carefully planned meeting organised by colleagues. Among them was Albert Kasielak, Moran's second-in-command, expecting a payday. Unknown to them, men across the street had watched their every move for weeks. Around 10:30 a.m., a black Cadillac, disguised as a police car, stopped outside. 4 men exited, 2 in police uniforms, 2 in trench coats and fedoras. Inside, the men saw the uniforms enter. No panic, assuming a routine shakedown. The officers barked a familiar command. Line up against the wall, hands up. 7 individuals stood quietly, facing the cool stone, a posture they'd assumed before. They didn't see the trench coats fall open, revealing the Thompson's submachine guns, nor did they see the 2 uniformed men raise their shotguns. The realization came with the first deafening roar of the Tommy guns. The execution was clinical, a torrent of lead sweeping along the line of defenseless men. 70 rounds tore into them. The men crumbled to the concrete instantly. Then, uttered silence returned, broken only by highballs whimpering. The individuals then performed a stylized act, simulating an event for outside observers. They drove away the men from the scene. They drove away leisurely, vanishing into city traffic, leaving a scene to haunt America. When real police arrived, the scene was so gruesome, veteran officers became physically ill. Amidst the scene, they found a sign of life. Frank Gusenberg was still holding on. Investigators leaned close, hoping for a name, but Gusenberg remained silent, his resolve unbroken. The investigation was chaos. Public outrage soared, especially over the use of police uniforms. Initial theories of rogue cops paralyzed the department until the fake police car was found torched. The crosshairs turned to Al Capone, but he had an ironclad alibi, conveniently in Florida. He expressed shock to the press, playing the role of the underdog of the police. The press, playing the role of the unfairly accused businessman. History points to a notable strategist as a key figure in planning innovative ventures, but the plan had one catastrophic failure. Bugs Moran was not among the dead. He'd been running late, saw the fake police car, and ducked into a coffee shop. That cup of coffee saved his life, but the massager shattered him psychologically. His best men gone, Moran's spirit broke. The North Side gang withered away. The massacre left Capone undisputed king, but it was a Pyrrhic victory. The brutality of the act crossed a line, turning a gangland squabble into a national war. The public outcry forced the federal government to act, bringing immense heat down on Capone. It wasn't murder charges, but intense scrutiny on his finances that finally stopped him. The massacre didn't secure Capone's reign. It marked the beginning of his end. The bloody climax of an era washed away in a tide of public criticism. The bloody climax of an era washed away in a tide of public revulsion on a cold Valentine's Day morning. Chicago, 1929. A city where the roar of life and the echo of violence became indistinguishable. Mrs. Landisman, an ordinary woman living an ordinary life, noticed the rhythm shift. The rhythmic thudding ceased, leaving an unsettling void in the crisp morning air. Then a sound far more primal, a desolate howl, echoed from behind those closed doors. A charade for any onlookers, a false sense of order being restored. But that fleeting relief would soon lead to an unexpected realization. Officers, drawn by a growing unease, prepared to uncover the truth. The air inside was thick, not just with cordite, but with a palpable sense of dread. Prohibition had transformed Chicago into a battleground, carved up by warring factions. A figure of influence approached their endeavors with a strategic mindset. George Bugs Moran, hot-tempered and fiercely territorial, saw Capone as a foreign interloper